All right, welcome in everybody. We got an interview here tonight. We're gonna start with the Harbingers of Judgment tonight. So we're gonna introduce Degassi, and she's gonna talk about her guild in a minute. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the channel real quick. So what we're doing is we're creating a library for new players. So when they come into the game, that they can go through the library of guilds and try to find some guild that actually meshes with their style of play, possibly, or how they feel like playing the game, because this game is overwhelming at times. And if you can kind of get an idea of how you want to play the game before you get going too far into it and find a guild that's going to click with you, is going to be a big bonus for you as you go through. So we're going to talk about the format real quick for questions, which we're going to take at the end. So chat, hold your questions till the very end. And we are going to take them in a question format. Manik will be looking after that as well. And just a shout out to Manik for the channel. She does all the work in here, making sure everything's working, microphones, all that. Malik is my co-host once again tonight. And we're just going to let Malik give a quick blurb about himself. Go ahead, Malik.
Hey everyone, it's Malik. Glad you could make it tonight. I'm a member of the Bratwire community and help them out from time to time. So we'll have fun tonight.
Thanks very much. So Degassi is going to briefly give a lowdown on herself, and then she's going to introduce her officers and leaders of her guild with her. Go ahead, Degassi. Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, my name's Degassi. I just started playing MO2 back in February. Kamek has been here a little bit longer. He's usually the first one on the ground. We co-lead the guild, and so we're actually engaged in real life. We're looking to get married next summer. But yeah, we're often referred to as mom and dad within the guild. Um, Kamek's been playing this since October. He's one of the helpers in the MO2 Discord, the official MO2 Discord. He's a genius with spreadsheets. He holds this guild together with his data and his information that he provides us. Um, Ymir is one of our older recruits, and he's actually made his way up to officer. And he's for the time being, he's our only officer, but he takes so much of my workload off. So thanks, Ymir. Um, but yeah, so that's who we are.
Hey, Kamal, you want to go ahead and give a little brief discussion on yourself there too, please?
Kamek, you mean?
Kamek, sorry.
Yeah, so she covered it pretty well. I do the spreadsheets. I'm probably one of the less reflex prone people in the guild. I don't have great reflexes, so I do maging and I do spreadsheets, and that's what I do for now. So yeah, I started back in like November, and actually I was an officer in AC, and I was doing their spreadsheets. But we've kind of led things in previous games before, and as more of our guys got into the game, we kind of made the decision that we wanted to do our own thing in this game too. And Degassi has been really, really instrumental in leading that since we've gotten that going. So it's been working out pretty well for us. And that was an amicable split with AC, by the way. Like our guilds are still on good terms. It's not like, oh, we're so angry we're leaving AC. No, it's just we've led our own thing in the past, so we wanted to go do our own thing in this game too. And so we made an amicable split, and we still work with AC quite a bit.
Perfect. Ymir?
Yeah, I just take up slack for Philly, and I like coordinate events and things. Try to keep it interesting, and have fun, and try to help as many people as I can. So
he's a great recruiter as well. He's really helped grow our numbers.
Okay, so I got that. All right. Okay, so let's just jump in first with the location to see where you guys are basically hanging your hats right now, so we get an idea of where people would find you mostly on the map right now. If your guild was logging in to do something, like where would you mostly be located? If it's like might be just one location or multiple locations, which is fine.
Well, originally the guild concept was to be fully nomadic, which was, we were going to move to a different place every few days, or if we really liked a place, maybe once a week or so. Um, we've backed off that a little bit for now, just because people get weary after you travel around the map a lot, because there's those big, multi-hour travel times. So at this
Yes.
point, we've been spending a lot of time in more encouraged, because we really like the ability to produce steel there and some of the other aspects.
Not only that, but Bhakti, I'd say, is our secondary location. We make frequent trips down there, not only for resources, but also for that Bhakti Bowl. So big shout out to Rec for that.
Nice. Yeah, Baki is a great trading hub too. When once we get going here in the game further, because it's central in the map for everywhere, right? So that'll be a good spot for you guys to hang out for sure. Like I know a lot of people are going to be playing in that area, like using the auction house there for sure. So let's just touch on some recruiting. As of right now, like I just let me just check your. I was checking your Discord and it had it shows me you had 90 people, I think, in your Discord. Is that what I was getting here? Yeah,
Oh
let me go
yeah,
back.
that's roughly accurate. And that's not just guildies. It
Yeah.
also includes some allies, it includes diplomats from other guilds. We're big on the diplomacy.
hmm Well, that's good though. I'm just saying, like your Discord is big. You have a lot of people in there, so that means you got lots of contacts in the game so far, and it's growing. So those are good numbers in the Discord, especially in this game right now. Also now, so let's quickly just talk. So the location. So I just want to go back to the location. So MK, you're using that mostly for your steel, right? You said.
Yes, and that is our favorite location by far. Everyone really favors MK.
Yeah, it's big. It's big though, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So if you guys are there, that's mostly where you guys are going to be hanging your hat. You think, and then Bodkey will be kind of maybe one of your training hubs for the central part of the map.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just let me write that down. Malik, do you have anything you wanted to add into the location there?
Are there any other locations that you guys have your eyes on that you may spread out to?
No, though when it comes to alliances, if our alliance is fighting a war in a particular area, we are willing to move and help.
Have you guys checked out the jungle at all when you're in Bhakti?
We have. Every time we go down to Bhakti, we make it a goal to make it down to the jungle.
Yeah,
I
the
can't
jungle.
wait. I can't wait till they have stables down there. I heard that's a thing. That's gonna be a thing, maybe.
Um, in MO1, I think they were built down there by a guild that was
Ah,
housing them.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
So sorry.
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was watching Henrik's stream once, and I asked him, and he said that because the map is like so big, they're actually considering making jungle camp and the um the cave camp more town like, and adding more things like the stables and stuff. So they might actually end up having stables.
Yeah, and logically, I can't see why they wouldn't, anyways.
Right.
Like it's a long way down there. First of all, and if you take a horse down there, you should be able to put it somewhere, right? Especially if you want to log out down there. Like if you, I guess if in fact there is a keep spot that's going to be down there, if it isn't on the beach and it's in the jungle area, well then the guild that has it down there will be fine. But the rest of the people bringing pets down there would you know be stuck if they didn't feel like running back up to Bod because it's a pretty long trot. It's probably what 40 minutes by 30 minutes by horse, something like that. So it's quite far. So you said something about alliances. So let's touch on who your alliances are, like loose alliances or firmed up alliances. What you guys would consider. If you want to go ahead and grab that question, one of you guys.
Sure. So we are actually allied with Acolytes, also ES, Sons of Bear, those guys, that big alliance. And actually, we've also been working pretty close with Misfits and Opposing Force as of late, kind of smaller guilds. They've been hanging out in our Discord a whole lot, so we've been buddies with them.
What was the other one after Misfits? What did
Opposing
you say?
Force.
Opposing Force, eh?
OP4S is what they often go by.
Oh yeah, Opposing Force. Okay, I have not heard that one yet. Misfits
I'll,
I've heard some of theirs.
yeah. El Cartel as well. We're all part of that big conglomerate.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
the
tell.
the Zerg, as they've been calling it.
Yes.
Though I'm gonna throw out there. Um, so I mentioned we came from other games. This guild was
Yeah.
actually founded as our primary purpose was an anti-Zerg guild. An
Oh yeah.
Arcade. We would like whatever guild, because in every Arcade server, there's always like one guild that was like trying to run the faction and like bullying
Of
everybody
course.
else, and we were
Of
always
course.
like against that guild.
Yeah.
But part of the reason that we're with the quote unquote Zerg in this game is first off because the other side is also an equally large Zerg, and second
Yes.
off, we're an anti-griefer guild, which we define random player killing and griefing as two separate things.
Yes.
Random player killing is good for the game, in my opinion, to a certain degree. Griefing is when you're intentionally trying to make people rage, which is of course bad for the game. And I would say that I feel the side that we're on is not really griefers; they're just people who like to fight. Whereas, I feel less so about many of the guilds on the other side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The griefing part. Oh boy, that sends a lot of people into rage. Just the pure horse killing in town, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a great example.
Right, exactly. And like what do you get from that? Like, and I can get like as a part of a war, like people killing people's horses, but like
Yeah.
the people that just some random noob rides their horse into town and they shoot it down, like what purpose did that action have other than just to be a massive douche?
Oh yeah. Well, that's inevitable in this game. Like you
I
just.
hear you can get horse insurance now though. So
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
like
tell me horse sent you. No, I'm just kidding.
I wanted to bring up the gutter snipes advertisement or their guild recruiting. If you haven't read that in the MO2
No.
Discord, go read that for some great entertainment for sure. Like they're not hiding anything on their recruitment. If you haven't read that, go into the MO2 Discord and read that recruiting. So you'll see what griefing actually means. Like these guys, that's it. They're dedicated to horse killing and griefing, straight up. So they will be on the show for sure. So we'll touch on your alliances again. So for the alliances, how many? So you guys were in AC originally, and you guys kind of broke off with those that group. So do you know a lot of the people from ES and the cartel, other than myself?
So mainly our connection to that alliance is with AC, and we know
Yes.
a lot more people in AC than the other guilds. That being said, we did make a point to go up to GK for a while, and for like I'd say roughly a week, we just
Yes.
lived in GK. And
Yeah.
when we were living in GK, if I'd see an EL running around doing something at the blast furnaces, I just follow around to make sure they don't get jumped or stuff. So there's people that we know in the other guilds,
Yeah.
but definitely we know AC better than any of the other guilds in the
Okay.
alliance.
Yeah, not
AC
only
is
that,
big.
we are in all of their discords, ES, El Cartel, so well,
Yeah.
ES I'm not sure about, but El Cartel for sure.
Yeah.
Sons of Bear for sure.
The AC is a big guild. The cartel will be a very big guild too by the end, and so will ES. They'll definitely blow up those guilds because everybody, like, if you just want to be a guild that goes out and roams on a Friday night with 100 people, those are the guilds that are going to do that kind of thing. I'm assuming when the game goes to persistence, because a lot of them are ex-RPK guys, and that's what they love to do, right? So
Mm.
I don't know if they ever spoke to you guys about that kind of thing, but that's what they used to do in the old game. It was kind of a mandatory thing on a Friday night that they would go out and roam and just look for fights. So, and it's not so much about PKing at that point; it's just looking for the fights, right? That's all they kind of wanted to do at that point in time.
Right.
So let's go into kind of the crafting. We'll start with crafting first, and how you guys have that organized and who's organizing it, and are you designating people to help you get crafting materials? I think all three of you guys and girls can like sort of just touch on that a little bit, like whose roles are what. If you want to go ahead, you can grab some of those answers for me.
Definitely. So right now we do have most every craft that's pretty common right now covered. Cooking is a little, it's kind of on the back burner right now. We do in fact have a guild alchemist that everyone feeds our guild alchemist, and this alchemist, it's a person that Kamek and I have known for years. He's very trusted. So he's not going to run off with all of our super secret stuff, all of our resources. He's loyal to the end, to the bitter end. Um, but yeah, we right now we're kind of struggling since the game is kind of at a lull point.
Yes.
So we've some like for example, right now we've only got like one super active bow crafter. So but we have channels where you can go and request an item, and so long as you've been coming out with the guild and farming resources, you'll get exactly what you need. We like to make sure all our guys are geared. We teach them how to gear, everything from the fundamentals to like the very like I don't want to say end game content, but like what it is for now, what's pretty easy to get but also very good. Um but yeah, we have most crafts covered when we're a little bit more active, when the game's more active.
And that's been actually one of the intentions of our guild from the start. In fact, it's our core mission statement is that
Yeah.
we want to get people PvP viable on their very first day of play, or meaningfully participating in PvP in their very first day of play. So we have, if you were to come in as a recruit, um, if you can get your skills up, which you definitely can on your first day right now,
Hmm.
if you
Yeah.
can get your skills up, we can get you set up with a set of gear and go out and do stuff with us. Um, and so we make sure that everybody's geared, even if like the fresh recruits. The fresh recruit, obviously, they're not going to get a full set of steel armor on their first day, but they're going to get something that hurts.
Right.
Yeah. 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 Ymir, you have anything you want to add in there for the crafting part?
No, not really. We just have the channels. I think that works really well. You be like put in. It's kind of like putting in an order, and
Mm-hmm.
then everybody kind of like makes it, and then when you're on, they're on. It
Yeah,
gets
it
the
oh, go ahead.
transaction.
Yeah, yeah. It helps keep the voice channel clear, essentially, because then you got like 20 people like, I need 117 strength, asymmetrical bow. And oh my god, I
Yeah.
need armor. Are we leaving now? I need armor. Oh my, it cuts
Yeah.
down on the transition panic. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What was the name of the alchemist guy that you have right now? That he's like a buddy that you known for like half a decade or whatever, right?
oh
Uh,
yeah, Papaturo is his name, and I wouldn't say half a decade, but it's getting close.
Yeah, it's been a while because
Yeah.
we met him in what ArcAge 4.0, so that was a
Arturo.
while back. And actually to give you an idea of date, like when Life is Feudal was just coming out as an
Oh yeah.
MMO, we all went and tried that game together, and he ended up loving it and staying there like the entire time. We ended up only being there for like a couple weeks, but um,
Yeah.
so he was pretty much there from the start of the MMO to the end of the MMO. So that at least gives a rough date of as far back as we know him, since we knew him a little bit before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he aware of the alchemist group Chosen Alchemy?
Yes, he's very
Okay.
involved in that.
All right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
recently ranked up to alchemist rank.
Oh, did he?
So, yeah, he's no longer like a novice or whatever.
Yeah, that's. Oh, yeah. There it is, Chosen Alchemy. I'm just gonna look for his name here real quick. Oh, I see yours in there too. Yeah, that Chosen Alchemy is absolutely amazing for anybody that wants to do alchemy for sure. Like you're gonna learn so much from them, and I'm glad he's in there. If he's ranked up, that's good then. So he's into the spreadsheets and everything then with them, I'm assuming.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
So now do you guys do say you need like you want to create 10 sets of steel? Are you saying to your guys, let's all go out on X amount of nights and gather 100 stacks of granum. Are you guys organizing things like that right now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever comes on those gets first priority for those resources.
Yeah, it's usually calcs runs though, because we've got people, that just hit Granum day in, day out, grind that stuff up. Um, but the calcs, it's not a long trip from MK, but it's a little bit of a trip, and like the
Yeah.
trip in between the calcs and MK is an area that's like really easy to jump people if you've got a group. So we want to make sure we've got a group when we're hauling back a bunch of calcs, so that if we do get jumped, we can fight back.
Yeah, that's a dangerous road. It always has been for
Yeah,
MMO1 right now. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say it is a double-edged sword. It's like it's why we like that location, because I feel like if you're a smaller group, you're gonna be able to defend it easier.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
defensible.
and once it gets into persistence and they start, you're allowed to like build palisades and whatnot. Like if you guys are in that area all the time, you'll start building like little mining towns basically along that river, right? And mash it all up down there because there'll be these things called portable grinders that you can throw down on the ground. I don't know if you were aware of that or not. That way you don't have to transport all the stuff back to town every time. You can just do it right there.
Yeah, originally our thought was that we're going to be fully nomadic. We're not going to have a keep or anything, but we're getting a lot of people who love to practice fighting day in, day out.
Yeah,
And we're getting strong enough that like the keep's no longer an option that's considered off the table. It's something
yeah,
that may happen.
yeah. Okay, we'll follow up with that question in about 2 minutes here. I wanted to touch back on the. We're going to go away from the crafting a little bit because I think you explained that quite well for everybody. And you're fair. It looks like you got everything organized with people that get armor and weapons, and mining runs are all looked after. You got an alchemist, which is really good for your guild. If you can get a guy that's ranked up enough, that's gonna pull a lot of weight for you with heal pots and that kind of thing as well. Now you said you had a little bit of shyness on the cooking, but that'll come probably with another big recruiting burst.
Oh, I really enjoy the cooking. I just
Yeah,
don't enjoy that it's useless right now. So I might end up doing that myself.
yeah, yeah. Food becomes a huge part of the game. Um, once it gets going, obviously, but okay, so what I wanted to touch on now is kind of like war planning, that kind of thing, and how it's set up for you guys, or how you think it's going to turn out for you. So I'm just going to write down war plan, and if you guys want to go ahead and start on that, you can read off to me what you think or how you're doing it, and who's in control, and how you make the decisions, like who you're going to support and who you're not going to support.
So definitely anybody who's been allied with Whigs is never going to be working with us. Um, that's just, if you were allied with Whigs, you're a griefer in our eyes, and it's going to
Yeah.
stay that way. Um,
Okay.
and based on that, like I said, we've done fighting with EL, ES, AC, a bunch of those people who were fighting the good fight against them. And so we'll probably continue to work with those groups and release, at least, even if like the alliance was to fall through at some point, we might work out a mutual defense pack or something. So that's something that we're going to keep open. And then as we mentioned, there's some smaller groups in the Morinkur area that we've started to work with a lot more closely now that we're living in that area more permanently. So we've got multiple groups that we could work along with, and we also have groups that we know we're going to work against.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So these smaller groups you're talking, maybe that like the Misfits, the Sum of Bears, and the Opposing Force, they're all in MK right now with you.
I haven't seen much Son of Bears, but we were seeing them a lot when we were fighting up in GK.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, I want you to expand on the war plans though. I want to try to nail down like who's making the decisions. Are you guys you kind of doing like a round table vote? Or are you doing a pirate vote where everybody gets a say? Or is there just the
So
council and that's it? You guys are saying this is what we're doing. Is it everybody's on board? Let's go.
basically, the way that it works is that on most important decisions, Philly and I will make the decisions, and we discuss these decisions like extensively because we're together IRL. So when we go on a walk or something, we'll have a 2-hour discussion on where we're going to take the guild and what decisions we're going to make. That being said, sometimes for certain issues we will put it to a vote with our active members, and then of course even if we don't put it to a vote, we still like to talk to people about what we're doing and get their feedback. That way, if the decision that we're making is really unpopular with the guild, we'll know that and we can revise that to reflect that and potentially do something that'll be more in line with what people want.
Exactly. There's not a single decision I have made that has not been influenced by the voices of all my members. We listen to everyone. But
Yeah.
ultimately, yeah, it's Kamek and Mayan's decision.
Yeah. Ymir, do you want to add in it to anything on that? Like it sounds like
No,
you basically have a voice in it too, my friend.
yeah. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty open. Like as far as like they do a really good job at listening and seeing what other people think, and that definitely um guides their decision. But like ultimately, like we respect their decision if they do decide like whatever decision they make on anything. So, and I think that's always good that we can just rally around that one voice if things do get a little complicated.
Yeah. Do you ever hear mom and dad fight?
Um, I think there was like one time it wasn't like a fight, but
No, no.
it was pretty funny though, and we had a really good time because they were still talking to each other, but it was like really sweet, but it was like still because it was like honey and stuff. But it was comical for us,
Yeah.
and but no, not really, not any fights that I've
No.
seen.
I'm just teasing anyways. Like
Yeah,
if
it's
they're
pretty funny.
together all the time and they have to talk about everything, like you're not you know what? Like if it comes to planning and you got two leaders that are together, like how much better can the planning get, right? They can hatch out
Right.
plans in real time and just table it to you guys so you guys can, kind of figure out where you stand on it too. And it's
Oh
obviously
yeah.
that they take everything into consideration that you guys are saying. So that's really important as well.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of guilds who are co-led, it doesn't work well because the people who are co-leading are like maybe friends or acquaintances, or they've been appointed to co-lead because one lead maybe doesn't feel as confident as the other. But Kamek and I, we are basically of one mind. We just each have different skill sets.
Yeah.
Um, and so we agree like politically in real life on everything, the way things should be run. It's just a matter of, one person might see something the other doesn't. But every decision we make, we are both on the same page. There's very little argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Ma-
complement each other very well.
uh, Malik, did you want to add into anything on the war planning or anything like that? Like the
Yeah, I don't
tactic?
know if we already asked this or not, but did any of you guys ever play MO1?
Briefly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very tiny bit. Very
So
tiny bit.
I've played a lot more Darkfall. I've played a little bit of Eve. I'm
Yeah.
definitely not a stranger to this type of game, and I did play a little bit of MO1, but MO1 I would describe as a game with a lot of really great ideas that were very, very poorly implemented, and I just couldn't get past the poor implementation on some things like not being able to pick my race back when I originally played because Thurser Curite was like the only viable melee build.
Right. No one's gonna argue with you on that one for sure.
No. Oh,
I, I was just kind of asking that question because I don't know, Bratwire, they may not understand the sieging aspect and planning. Maybe that's what you were, trying to ask about.
We
yeah.
do have multiple guys that have played MO1, and we've definitely been leaning on them and listening to them and doing research in
Hmm.
terms of how that's going to work. But in terms of a keep, we're still not settled on whether we're actually going to do it. We're kind of like, it depends on how it works because we're not one of those guilds who are going to like collect your phone numbers and be like, all right, everyone wake up at like 2 a.m. We got to defend the keep.
Right.
But yeah, we listen heavily to our MO1 vets. We have multiple. Just because we are a noob guild doesn't mean we're all noobs. But yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. kind of headed towards the new way. I was just wondering if Bratwire's done a lot of sieging. I was thinking that his line of questioning may be coming from that aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, we're going to be a little bit vague on answers about like who are we going to work with? What are we planning to do if we get siege? Where are we going to take a keep? Because like I don't know, there could be enemies listening to this stream for information. Like, so we're intentionally keeping our answers a little bit more vague. We may have more precise answers than we're giving on some of these questions, but we're keeping it vague for a reason.
I
Right.
understand that.
And it's not even in the game yet. So,
Right.
we're all just kind of going by what we experienced in the last game, which we all agree was not well done either. So, yeah.
But MO1 was like once you get by all that rough stuff and looking at it, like the concept was absolutely amazing. Yeah, you were bang on there for that. So I kind of wanted to touch on the diplomacy again because you guys spoke about it a few times now. So who is going to do all the diplomacy for the guild, or do you have multiple people that are going to be doing that as well? I know you
I
two are kind of the leaders, but like you mentioned about the veterans. Like, are you pulling some of them into your round table, like another section of the guild to come in and say, "Listen, this is probably what you should do."
So so generally, I handle most of the diplomacy. Like all of our stuff with the alliance that we're in AC, was basically set up with me. We do have like every once in a while, like Ymir has set up some events with AC, where they'll do like smaller things. But in terms of like making the big moving and shaking decisions, um, that's mostly been me, and then Philly has been a lot more active lately. And so like some of the smaller groups that work with us on a day-to-day basis, she's done a lot more interacting with them, if you get what I mean. But one of the other things is that I'm actually trying to get I'm trying to get into the Coast Guard, and so if I manage to get my runtime down far enough, I'll be going off to basic and I'll completely disappear from the guild for a while. So at that
Yes.
point, it would probably be mostly Philly or potentially a different officer handling diplomacy.
Yeah. Do you have a name of that officer? You have anybody in mind? Or is it
It
too
the,
early to say?
yeah, Philly at this point, but that doesn't mean that it's not subject to change.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, more minds together might make better decisions too, right? Like when you leave it all on one person, sometimes they only see one direction, right?
Yeah,
And
and not only that, this is another case of I listen to my members, I see what they have to say, how they feel about it, and then I'll make a decision.
yeah, yeah, the voices of many
Well, and
sometimes are really good.
yeah, that's definitely our alliances of something that I've been trying to make sure that our members do get a voice in. Like we had a big guild meeting before we like went up to GK to like make sure everybody was aware of what the decision was being made and like if they're on board with this. And there's going to be more stuff based on the diplomatic things that we have planned for the future and the diplomatic things that we don't have planned but will come up surely. But yeah, we do try to keep everybody involved in that, even if it's one person making the final say. We like to hear what people are going to think about that decision before they make it.
Absolutely. So for the deals when you went up to GK, can you enlighten us a little bit of what kind of deal you guys actually carved out with the cartel?
So the basically what it was is that we were AC's ally, and this was a few patches ago. And basically, we went up and we were trying to help them in Fabrinum, and we realized our whole guild hates fighting in Fabrinum because you're not fighting players, you're
Yeah,
fighting the game. Like
yeah,
it's you're fighting with the system. It's not even like PvP, it's PV horrible reputation system.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, you know what, we're not going to do this. This is not fun. Um, we would rather go somewhere where there are no guards. That way we don't have to worry about it. And so we discussed it with AC, and AC said, well, if you're going to come up and fight with GK, you need to be a part of our broader alliance. Because they kill everybody who's not in that alliance up on site up there, and we're like, okay, well, you know, let's run up there and give that a try. And so we went up there for a week and we did some fighting up there. And eventually, what ended up making us leave, there's a couple things. We needed to go get some supplies in other areas,
Hmm.
and then the other thing was that, like, at the point, like, we've grown since then, but we were a very small guild, and a lot of the people in our alliance were logging off every night, like after the fighting was done. And
Yeah.
so we'd get on and we're like, you know, two other guys to help us hold the town. There's like three of us and two other people, and we're like, no, we're good on that. At this point, actually, like last night, even we went up, and we held GK with.
I want to talk about that one. You weren't there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
See what I'm talking about? You see what I deal with? No.
Ymir, did you go as well last night? Don't.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, so let's talk about this then. You go ahead and hammer it. I want to hear this story. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Philly or yeah.
Yeah, Philly.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Ymir. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Philly.
Okay, it was fantastic. So I didn't have any guild events planned that night, and I was like, well, I could always take like one of my newer guys out and teach him about Rysars and like get some PVE going. Routine stuff. So it was me, Ymir, and one of our newer guys. His name's Torkia. Um, so we're out, we're farming some Rysars at a camp, and real routine. And then all of a sudden, like we see riders up behind us. Someone's like, "Riders behind us!" And like I turn around, I swear I see 5 of them. They said there was only 4 of them, but I saw 5. It's whatever though. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I get all sweaty on my mouse. Like, okay, I'm gonna kill as many of these horses as I can before we go down because there's only 3 of us. And then
Yeah.
Misfits rides up and they're like, "Hey!" And I'm like,
Oh, nice timing.
"Hey!" No, it was Misfits that rode up on us. It was the Misfits. So
Oh,
just sheath our weapons, and they're like, "So, we're going to GK. You guys want to come?" And I'm like, "Hey guys, you want to come? Yeah, let's go over there." So we group up, and like, so it's four Misfits, 3 of us, and then our other guys are like, "Oh my god, they're going to GK." So we get more guildies to come over.
yeah,
We make a pit stop at Cave Camp, and we bank our Rysar stuff, and like
yeah.
a guild list sees us there, calls us out in help chat. So okay, now everyone knows we're coming, like everyone and their mom in help chat. So we continue going over there. We stable our horses, and like the fun starts immediately when we like 10 of us just ride up on the single naked minor legion guy and just like slaughter the poor guy. um but yeah, it eventually, it escalates to like we kill a couple more guys near Upper Bank. We exchange some shots until like we actually have like Legion. We have some content. We have some BKO, and they're just like hiding out in the stables. And I figure they're waiting for numbers, but we're just camping them on either side, and they're stuck in those stables. And our Ghost Scout's like, "Hey guys, like no one's at Priest." I'm like, "Oh, well, let's go take Priest." So
Yeah.
so then there's a whole bunch of fighting like over like near the stairs near the lower Priest, right? And so our new guys are just digging this. And so eventually like Intrinsic Empire was there, but they kind of disappeared pretty quick after the action. But
Yeah.
eventually we're pushing Legion up the stairs near lower bank, and then content comes and squishes us at the bottom of the stairs, and it's GG after that. But um yeah, so we all wipe, and it took an hour though. We were there for a whole hour before we wiped.
Not bad.
And yeah, so we recall the priest, and like that was the very first fight like that like a couple of our guys had ever experienced, and they told
Really?
me after the fight that was the best fun I have ever had in any game. So
Period.
that
Wow.
that is that is our number one goal with this guild, is to get these new guys doing that. And so just want to say to all you people out in GK, we'll be back, and we might just bring our full numbers.
Yeah. See, that's the
Though
memories right there.
we
Mhm.
got called a Zerg last night, though, even though apparently they had more
Wow.
people for the final fight.
Yeah,
well.
apparently it was 3 different groups, but the other 2 groups grouped up and killed us instead. Like, eventually they grouped up, and because I was ghosting around after, and so then as soon as we all wipe, I see, like, 7 guys chasing these 4 guys over here, killing them. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was great fun. It was fantastic.
Zergs mean nothing. Like people can say that all they want, but that's the game mechanic.
Right.
You
And the
know,
other thing is
so
that, you know, less than, or like, I thought it was 9, but maybe 10. Like 10 or so people from 2 different guilds. I don't care what game you're playing. That's not a Zerg, people.
no.
Yeah, I can tell you, like, one of the Misfits guys had to log off early, so it was precisely 6 Harbingers and 3 Misfits, and I think I saw someone in help chat like, 20 Harbingers! And I'm like, "Oh, I'm flattered, like, wow."
It may not
Just
be
blowing
20,
it
but
up.
they fought like 20, so that's surely why
Yeah,
you said that.
that's right. That's what I mean. Like Zerg, who cares? Like it makes no sense. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
That's the game. Like
Yeah,
you
our guild
same
slogan
thing.
is actually, "To hell with honor, win." And that's our slogan, that's in our recruitment
That,
message.
that's our family-friendly slogan that we post in public discords. Our actual guild motto is "Fuck Honor Win."
Yeah.
Yeah. When it
Yeah,
comes.
'cause
Oh, I get it.
yeah, we got because like we got like new people. We're noob friendly. We pride ourselves on
Yeah.
being a noob friendly PvP guild. We don't have that elitist environment that a lot of them do, where stakes are high and people are screaming at each other. Like, no, we don't do that. Our comms last night were very calm. Everyone was like very happy with the outcome. Um, but yeah, we have new people. I'm not gonna stand like 10 new people against like 8 or 10 or 12 veterans. Like,
Yeah.
that's just stupid.
Yeah. That's
I would
game over right
never.
there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use every tactic I can to win, and if you can be proud of yourself for fighting honorably, but at the end of the day, we're the ones who will be crying into your gear that we took off your body. So
And enjoy it while you can, because it could turn around and happen to you 10 minutes later in this game.
absolutely.
So
That's
that's what I
part of
mean.
the
Like,
lesson.
oh yeah. I just a quick question on recruiting. So, do you have a specific person that is doing the recruiting for you guys, or is it just get in touch with you and you're good to go? You're not looking for old, new, or any. It's just whoever comes, right? By the
Uh,
sounds of it.
Pretty much. I know Ymir. Ymir's been so great at like making the initial like contacts with people, just kind of like putting out messages to guildlesses he sees around the game, like, "Hey, you looking for a guild?" And then usually after he gets a conversation going, he points them in my direction. Usually, and
Yeah.
so we get them in voice for just like an informal interview. And it's fine if you've never played MO1, it's fine if you've never played MO2, it's fine if you've never played like such a kind of like hardcore PvP sandbox game. We just like to get you in there, get to know your voice, because that's where the real guild is at. It's not in the game, it's in the Discord. And so
Yeah.
Right.
we get them in there, and what we have going is we have a 2-week trainee period where you can join, no commitment to stay. You can hang out for 2 weeks. We'll help teach you the game, get you PvPing, get you crafting, uh, help you with builds, whatever. So and then after that 2 weeks, if it's not for you, if you're not into our environment, you're free to leave. No hard feelings. We understand we're not everyone's style, though. I will say that everyone who has stayed for the full 2 weeks, they have not
Yeah.
left yet. We've retained every
Right.
last one who have stayed for the 2 weeks, so I consider that a win.
Yeah. So your mirror, do you have an actual tactic when you're going in to talk to these new people and trying to recruit them in? Is there are you using a smooge line on them, or what are you doing to get these people in there?
No, not really. I'm a pretty friendly guy, and I help
Yeah.
out a lot of people, like just like randomly.
Yes.
So I make a lot of friends. Like if I see somebody like walking with heavy stuff, I'll actually like take time to like push them to like the
Yeah.
butcher or whatever.
Or
And
help
so
'em.
like and that'll get me in good standings with people. And some people just like, I don't know, just like me for whatever reason, and I'll like strike up conversations, and if they're interested in the guild, it'll happen. But yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're a recruiter, sometimes you'll talk to a guy for 3 or 4 days, and you'll just get to know him like that, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, give me an invite. I'm
Oh yeah,
assuming that happens a lot to you.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think as a whole though, like we take we take a lot of time to invest in our people.
Yes.
So if you want to learn any, like you will 100% get better if you did join us, like even for the 2 weeks, because we will take the time out of our day to invest in you, like. And that's the beauty of this guild, is like we're not like we're all about like slow growing, and so we take the time with every single person, and we help everybody. So
Like one of the things is that you're not going to get reamed in our guild for asking questions, but I will absolutely tear someone a new asshole for telling one of my recruits to Google it. Like we
Oh,
like to help people.
dude, that is the worst. Hey, oh my God, I'm glad you said that. It's such a good point. I hate when that, like in the help chat. You ever watch help chat sometimes when people
Oh yeah.
they're in
Oh,
there asking
I've
for help?
got people in health chat. They're like, Google it. I'm like, get the fuck out of health chat. You don't want to help people. Why are you in health?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Totally get
when
it.
I,
People who are using help chat as a general, but it is still a help chat. So shut the
that's
fuck up
right.
with your Google
Yeah,
it stuff.
I lose respect for people completely when they say that. I'm like, these new people are in the game. This is why help chat is here. This is why Haven is here. That's why my channel is here. And that's why you guys are on here. And this is why we're doing all this stuff so we can help new people get in the damn game, enjoy it, and not, be like pounded into the ground right away. That's yeah. Anyways, we'll go by that part because that's just sheer stupidity. I wanted to touch back on the housing and the keep again. So if there's only 16 keep spots on the whole map, and you guys, before persistence comes, are you going to decide before then? I guess is the question, that you're going to be a keep guild or not? Because when you decide you want to be a keep guild in this game, and I'm sure you're aware of this now, your alliances that you have, you're going to have to get involved with them to make sure that there's room on the map for you guys to get a keep and help those guys get a keep and keep it as well. Because if there's only 16 spots and you got 100 guilds and 50 of them are big guilds, you know what's going to happen. Like it's going to be all out. So are you guys planning, like this is something you got to think about. You have lots of time to think about, obviously, because we don't know when persistence is coming. But by then, you guys, do you think you're going to know by then whether you're
Well,
going to be a keep guild or not?
one thing I'm going to say that'll probably tip our hand a little bit, but it's not like tipping our hand too much. Um, Most of our allies, I think, intend to have keeps in the north part of the map, and there is a
Absolutely.
very low chance that we would have a keep as far north as most of them are looking at.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's just not going to be conflict there. So the spots that there's like mainly one spot that we're mostly thinking of, but
Yeah.
there's some other spots around the map that I also have in my peripheral, and those spots are just not spots that I think we'd be contesting any guilds that we're super friendly with over. And then the other guilds that tend to live more in our area, at least for now, are smaller guilds. So
Hmm.
uh, I can't see us really conflicting over keeps because I doubt that they'd want to take them. And if they did get large enough to take a keep, we just have to sort
Yeah.
that out and figure out an arrangement that works for us both. But right now, just looking at our list of guilds that we're friendly with, I really don't see us conflicting over any of the guilds we've been working with over a keep.
Yeah, we've been putting a
Hmm.
lot of effort into our diplomacy for that reason specifically.
Good for you. Diplomacy is key in this game. Absolutely key. Everybody thinks the fighting is, but if you can't be like diplomatic in this game and sort things out without the blade, you're gonna find yourself in a world of hurt because you'll get ganged constantly. All right, so let's bring up. I wanted to just briefly from each one of you touch on the state of the game and what you think of it so far.
Well, I know a lot of our recruitment ads say that we're going to be a primarily mounted guild. However, setting our sights on a potential keep, we've kind of changed that because, yeah, in the past we know it's been foot fighters v foot fighters when defending a keep. But also, like I've been waiting for this mounted combat to come out, and according to the patch notes, or not the patch notes, but announcements, it's supposed to
Yeah.
mounted melee is coming out soon. But I heard that they're not putting out armor, and it's a crying shame. There's
Yeah.
no possible way you can effectively test mounted melee without mount armor. It's just ridiculous. It's asinine. You
Yeah.
already die. You go down so quick already as a mounted archer. It's ridiculous.
Right. The only mounted or viable mounted builds right now are ones that have healing in their build, because
Yeah.
if you heal your mount, 2 arrows and one hit on your mount, and it's like, when I was playing Fat Mage, um, I could deal with that a little bit. I could dodge
Yes.
around the corner, throw a couple heals on my mount, come back out and keep supporting people. But if you
Mhm.
don't have the heals, you can't. And that really, really makes it hard to do anything with mounted combat. So we're pretty damn frustrated with the fact that they don't seem to be bringing out tankier mounts. They're not bringing out mounted armor, and so they might as well not have any of these mounted combat systems in the game right now, because they don't have any of the systems needed to support it. And
Right.
Yeah.
that there are, we really love this game. We really love a lot of what's going on, but definitely I would say, probably my biggest frustration, is that some of their ideas just seem to be coming out of nowhere, and some of their ideas really show me that I don't feel like they're considering, um, the order in which they implement things. That
Mhm.
certain systems have to be built on top of other systems. For instance, mounted combat being built on actual decent mounts that are capable of mounted combat with armor.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually spoke on that the other day about the exact same thing. Ymir, I'll just let you go ahead and tell me what you think of the state of the game and what you kind of think that like you want to see come in the game.
Um, I okay. So current state of the game, I actually really like the game. I feel like every patch, there's always like at least like one soul crushing bug in the game,
Yep.
which is kind of frustrating. Like there was the horses, and then they fixed that, and now it's like everything in my inventory seems to disappear, and I have to like log out or do some weird finagling
Yeah.
now. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the keeps and seeing like how that like how well one how it all works, and then like you know like all the
Mhm.
housing and stuff. I'm really excited to see all that. And then another thing I'm really excited about is that he was talking about is like the large global bosses that will take like a month to kill and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
those are gonna be pretty sweet.
Malik, did you want to add anything in about the state of the game and what you currently think about it?
Yeah, well, I really enjoy the game, but like the others have said too, the some of the bugs are very frustrating, and I think that I agree about the order of development, and I think that maybe we don't understand their priorities, but to us, what we see is not really organized the best way it could be.
Yeah, that's for sure, right? Okay, that's good. Chat, we're going to start taking questions in a couple minutes. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in kind of like a question format so Manik can sort through them real quick. I'm going to give a quick summary of the what we did for the interview tonight, but I just wanted to give you guys a chance there, Mom and Pop and Ymir, to say anything you want now. It's an open platform. You can say whatever you want about your guild, explain things, um, basically tell the chat and people out there that are going to watch the videos later what they can expect from you guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll say, this is probably the best group of guys that have ever come together for me. Anytime I ask him for something, if I'm looking at our roster, I'm like, oh my gosh, we need refiners and extractors. And the next day, I have too many refiners and extractors, right? Like, or if one day I'm like, oh man, we need some iron bone to make everyone some armor. The next day, I'm being handed 10 stacks of iron bone to make everyone gear. It's fantastic. I can't really take credit for this. It's just the people in there, and it makes for a really chill environment. My members always tell me, like, man, this guild, I love this guild because it's such a great balance between being chill but also being organized, and it's really user friendly, new person friendly, but we also get that PvP and we can focus up for that. So
Perfect.
yeah, the Discord, if you want to see what it's all about, just hop in our Discord. You don't have to join, no requirement. You can just come say hi, anyone out there listening.
Uh,
All right.
the
Go ahead.
question about how many mounts we've lost to guts, I can't speak for every single member of the Harbingers, and there's surely things that have happened that I'm unaware of, but I believe that answer is 0. Because when I was riding around up there, I was like a fat mage, and I only lost 1 mount to like 1 person 1 time because it got stuck while I was running away on it. Um, but yeah, we're the horse griefing thing. It's nice and it's petty, but we're not living in Fab anyway, so it's not a big deal to us.
Yeah.
Was it gutter
Ymir?
snipe? Is
Ymir, do
that
you have
even?
anything you want to say about the guild, where what they can expect from you in the guild and so on?
I mean, like I would just I don't know, like I like whatever you want to work on, like I have no problem like helping like meet your goals. Like I'm all about like seeing what people want to do and building around that. Like we do a lot of like listening and seeing, I mean, obviously we're not going to do that like every single second because, different people want to work on different things, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah. So
Okay. Good. Good. Okay, so I'm just what's that? Prime Gaming. Who's your favorite son? I'm assuming he's one of yours.
Yeah, we can talk about that later, Fufdwemo.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, I'll just do a quick summary on the interview
of
for
course.
you guys, and you can correct me if I mentioned anything that's incorrect or statement. So it looks like mom and dad kind of started back in MO2 back in February ish. They
I
are
Well,
was back in November, but
November.
she hopped in and got more active in February.
mhm.
Okay, so you got November for dad and kind of February-ish for mom. They're IRL in life, and they're going to be married. Dad is the master on the spreadsheets. It looks like they were in AC, and they left to form their own guild on good terms. Ymir kind of helps with events and recruiting in the guild. For location, we have them at MK and Bodke mostly. And MK, they're using steel, and it's pretty much their favorite spot on the map right now. They do venture down to the jungle, do some guild stuff down there as well. Alliances, loose alliances or formed alliances with AC, ES, some of Bears, Misfits, Opposing Force, and Cartel. For the crafting, they help people get their own. They actually supply armor and weapons to players that do contribute. They don't hand out steel sets if you're not helping out in the guild. Papa Toro, I think his name was. He's the
Papatera.
alchemist. Papa Toro. Oh, so he's the alchemist that is in Chosen Alchemy, and he was promoted in there. So if you want to see him in there, you could speak to him as well. Organized. They do organized mining runs. For other things, I'm assuming that includes not just mining. I'm assuming that includes like trees, gathering of woods and that for the bows as well.
Yes, any
Um,
mats that we need.
yeah. War plans, final say is mom and pop, but they do listen to all the guild members, and they all kind of have a voice in what goes on. But the final say is mom and pop. They will give no support to any other guild that has supported the Whigs. Diplomacy is done by Dad. He looks after most of that. So, and then the recruiting is Ymir, which we touched on. It's looking like they will get a keep at some point in time. They'll know before persistence comes. Now, the state of the game, Mom and Dad both agreed on MC. The horse armor, need horse armor. They need better order of release of things in the game, and they need better mounts. They all agreed on that. Ymir likes the state of the game. He's very interested in seeing the keeps and housing and how it works. And a big part of what he wants also to see is global bosses, which will be something that the guild would focus on for the PvE aspect, I'm assuming. How did I do? Pretty good?
Yeah,
Okay.
solid.
All right,
I
perfect.
felt like we gave you entirely too much information though.
Well, if people want to just skip to the end of the video, it's already summarized for them, and then they can get a lowdown.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
No.
want to thank you guys very much for coming. A shout out to Malik and Manik as well for putting in work and coming and hanging out with us. They do a lot of work for me and with me in here. And again, thanks very much to Mom and Pop and Ymir for showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
And big shout out to chat as per normal. They're always in here, and they're good to me. They're very good to me. Oh, we've got a question. Morgan. Shout out to Morgan. It's her birthday there shortly.